Hey guys, happy Sunday. I hope everyone is having an amazing day. And in spite of what I'm getting ready to share with you guys, in the words of Kurt Franklin, I smile. So, we wanted to come on here and share something that is going on with our 17-year-old son, TJ, story. He is a junior here at a high school in Virginia. He has been on the baseball team there. I'm not going to say the name of the school, and I'm not going to say the name of any of the kids that are involved. But he has been on the baseball team there since he was in the 9th grade. TJ has played baseball since he was 6 years old. He's a left-handed pitcher. Baseball is what he loves. It's his jam. TJ has never missed a season of baseball since he was 6, except during COVID when nobody was playing anything. Okay, even when he had an injury, he was still sitting on the bench trying to be a part of the team. So, TJ's grades also amazing. He has always had honor roll all through middle school, all through high school, every single semester up until this school year. More on that in a minute. TJ is also an introvert. He does better I'm not going to say he does better when he's to himself. He just prefers to be to himself. He's laid back. He's non-confrontational. Not very social. He knows how to be social because, like I said, he's played on baseball teams, he's played on basketball teams, so he knows how to be social, and he's social in moments when he's with his friends. However, he's still more on the reserve side even when he's around them. So fast forward to what I was saying about his grades. So we noticed this year that his grades were dropping. My husband and I were like, hey, what's going on? These are not grades that you typically bring home, and we need to have a conversation about this because you're a student first and you're an athlete second. So we need to get these grades up or we're going to pull you out of baseball. And he was like, no, I'm just struggling with math a little bit. So we got on a math tutor, and that came up somewhat, still lagging behind, as not as high as it should have been. But also we started to notice that he was like lagging behind in some other subjects also. So we had the conversation again, like, what is going on? These were subjects that you typically wouldn't need a tutor in. So I'm like, obviously we knew that it was a focus problem at that point. So, why are you not focusing? What's going on? And he was like, I'll bring him up. I'll get him done. I'm fine. And we were like, no, you're not fine. Like, obviously something is wrong. Like, he was like, no, I'm good, Mom. It just let it be. I promise I'll get well, he didn't say let it be because I would have looked at him sideways, but he was just kind of like, kind of telling us to kind of leave the situation alone. Like, I got it. Everything is fine. I'm good. So we let it be. So TJ has not had honor roll at all this school year. At all, which is not like him at all. So we started having conversations like, do we need to, are you okay? You want us to get you a therapist? Is there somebody that you need to talk to? I started thinking maybe he had a girlfriend and that's why he was losing focus. That wasn't it. So we just let it be, and we said, okay, he'll, in his timing, if there's something, it'll be revealed, or if there's something, he will talk about it. But we did keep offering to let him know that we were available to, if you want to talk to us, you have a village, you have your grandparents, you can talk to somebody. Left it at that. He is passing. His grades are passing, so we left it at that. So fast forward to this week. He came to us and said that he had something very important to talk to us about, and he started the conversation by saying, I can't take it anymore, and at this point, like, I feel like I'm going to punch somebody. And we were looking like, where is this coming from? Like, what is going on? And he was like, the kids on my baseball team. Some of the kids on the baseball team he was like, this has been going on since 9th grade, and I just haven't said anything. And because I felt like I would be basically like blackballed, they would probably bench me, and I felt like nobody would do anything about it. And he said that they've been using racial slurs towards him, and they think it's funny, so they use it, and they do it so much, he said, that they just do it casually in regular conversation. So I'm like, what are they saying? And he's like, sometimes they're joking and sometimes they're serious, but they'll be like, shut your black ass up, or shut up monkey, or shut up nigger. What? So his dad and I are looking like, you say, how long this been going on? And he was like, since 9th grade. He was like, they do it so casually. They do it to so many other kids too. He was like, so, I just felt like, why do I even say something? Because nothing is gonna be solved. And I was like, you could have came to your parents. You could have came to us, and we gonna be on the first thing smoking up to that school. Like, okay, what is going on with these kids using these racial slurs towards my son? Like, we would have absolutely advocated for you. You know, you have parents that will advocate for you. And he was like, I know, like, I knew you. Basically, like, he knew we was gonna go off the deep end, so he just was kind of like, I don't want to say nothing because he didn't want to be benched once again, and he didn't want the kids to kind of like blackball him. So I'm like, Tita, you should never feel like that. Like, your pride, your dignity, your respect, that is more important than any sport. That is more important than anything that I can think of. Like, never let somebody talk to you that way. There are so many other things that them kids have said. TJ has a whole notepad of things that those kids said to him that are just absolutely disgusting. I'm absolutely disgusted. And you know, the sad thing is, no, let me say this also. His coach was not aware that this was happening. He said, my coach didn't know because we didn't tell him. And this is happening to another child also. We actually talked to that other child and his parents that night, because him and TJ, like, obviously had a conversation that day, something that had happened, and they were like both fed up with what happened, and they just couldn't take it no more. And this kid has obviously gone through more than what TJ has gone through. And he had an incident before where things were addressed or whatever, and they just kind of like brushed it off, and he just kind of got blackballed or whatever. So I'll let that's his situation, but I'm going to speak specifically about TJ. So I told TJ, I said, you know, you have a responsibility to let us know these things, even though I know you, obviously, we are sad that you internalize this stuff all this time, but you could have absolutely come to us to tell us about this situation, because we would have absolutely made sure that we handled the situation, that we addressed the proper people, that if my face me and your daddy's face gotta be plastered all over the news, and we gotta be up at the school every day, we gonna make sure that these kids suffer the consequences for their actions. So he was like, my coach didn't know, but the assistant coach did know. He said, because they would do it around him. The assistant coach is maybe several years older than TJ and the other kids. So he's a young guy. He's not that much older than them. So maybe he felt some sort of, I don't know what he felt to make him feel like it was okay for him to not say anything to these children when they were talking to TJ and this other child this way. Why is that okay? Getting down on their knees during Black History Month. They got down on their knees in front of TJ and the other kid and kind of put their fists up like Black Power, like making fun of Black History Month, making fun of the fact that they're Black. Like, why is there a need for that? There have been references to TJ made about him being dark and something like when the solar eclipse happened, like, where is TJ? Where is TJ? I was like, first of all, it wasn't even that dark that day. The sun was still kind of out. And like, TJ's my complexion. You can see us at nighttime. We ain't that dang on dark. Like, are you serious? So there are so many other things, as I stated, that TJ has told my husband and I that has happened and that has been said. And we haven't even had a meeting with the school as of yet. The meeting is this upcoming week. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait to do this video. I'm going to do it now, because these kids have disrespected him long enough. And yes, he waited to say something, but it's sad that our Black kids had to feel like they can't say anything because they're not going to be vindicated and because nothing is going to happen. And it's a story of y'all got me spitting. It's a story of so many other Black kids. So many Black kids. And it's not our Black kids playing the victim. It's because y'all's children are making them the victim. They shouldn't have to deal with this in school. They shouldn't have to deal with it at all. The fact that we're having to still deal with race relations in 2024 is absolutely ridiculous. But you know, another sad part is the parents of some of these kids that said it, they sit on the board of the school baseball team. And I mean, like, up high on the board. But your children are putting down another child and making another child feel inferior to them because of the color of their skin. They think that they're better than him because they're white. You are not better than somebody because of the color of your skin. You are absolutely not better than somebody. We are all equals. I'm not better than you because of the color of my skin either. We are equal. So your child, or you, whoever, if you're doing this, you should not be treating people that way. But you know, racism is taught. So these kids are probably doing it because their parents are doing it. It is a learned behavior. And if you're doing that in your home and casually using those words, your children will do the same thing. And if your children are using those words around you and you are not correcting them, that is a problem. You are a part of the problem. But at what point are you going to become a part of the solution? And you know, I told my husband, I have a problem. No, my husband said this to me first. We have a problem with the kids that didn't say anything, that didn't stand up to the other kids to defend TJ and this other child when it was happening. He was like, my husband said, where were these other kids that weren't doing it? Where were they at when these kids were saying it to you? And he was like, they were right there. They hear it. They don't say nothing. You are just as guilty. If you can't stand up for what is right. If I'm with my white friend and somebody says to her, shut your white ass up, I'd probably be ready to clock them before she would. Because it's disrespectful. It is absolutely disrespectful. Those words should never part anybody's mouth. You know what I would do to TJ? If he said that to one of his teammates, if he said, shut your white ass up, I would smack him in his mouth. I would do the same thing to my son Bryce if he was to say that. As you should be doing the same thing to your child. But you know why they're not going to do that to their children? Because they're doing it themselves. And I hope some of them are watching this video. I don't care who watches the video. I don't care if the school system sees this video. I hope the school system sees the video. I hope they see it before the meeting this week, because I am livid. My husband is livid. We share the same sentiments. We are upset that this is happening to our son in 2024. We hate that this is happening to him, period. Shouldn't happen to them at all. And for these people to allow their children to talk, and I don't even know if the parents know, but I'm pretty sure they know. I'm pretty sure you know that your kids talk like that. Pretty sure you do. Because once again, like I said, you're probably talking that way also. It is not okay. I told TJ, you need to just quit that team. And he was like, no, I'm not going to quit the team, Mom. I love baseball, and I'm not going to give them that power over me any longer. You guys, I'm not going to say you guys. I'm going to say there are so many children that are like those kids that are putting my son down, that are causing emotional distress on these black kids and kids of minorities. Other minorities. It's ridiculous. Why can't you just treat people as your equal? Are you intimidated? What are you intimidated by? So I hope the school system deals out consequences to these kids as they should. They better deal out some consequences. It doesn't need to be just a slap on the wrist. And I hope the kids who get called in, because I'm sure they're going to call some of these kids in to the office. So I hope when they call some of these kids into the office, they stand there for what's right and say, you know what? He did say that to TJ. He did say that to the other boy. They said that. Stand up for what's right, or you are just as guilty, and you are part of the problem also. Y'all gonna have to pray for us. If they don't, I'm not going to do anything to jeopardize my job. I'm not going to do anything to put me in jail. I'm not going to do any of that. That's not, I want to be around to raise my children. My husband is not going to do anything to jeopardize our livelihood either, because we're better than that. But we will plaster our face over every news outlet, over wherever we got to plaster our face, until it's understood that this is not okay. Somebody has got to stand up. You're not going to treat our children that way. You're not, absolutely not going to treat our children that way. But y'all, I wanted to share that, and I will keep everybody posted on what happens, and I hope the school system doesn't fail. I'm always going to advocate for my children. I work for the school system. The same school system of the kids that are not at the same school, but I work for the school system that has to dish out this, whatever the consequences that will be to these kids who have done this to my son. So how can I advocate for your children if I can't even advocate for my own children? I should not. I'm trying to be cool, y'all. I'm really trying to be cool. And I think about how many kids have taken their lives as a result of stuff like this. This is emotional distress. Like, we're going to have to get our son therapy. Probably because of what he's dealing with. If he's been at his boiling point. He's dealt with this for 3 years. So he's going to need therapy with how to process this stuff. Because he's going to take this stuff into adulthood if not. So we are angry. We are pissed. And the school system needs to do something about this happening, because it's happening way too often. It's not just at his school, it's at schools all over America, and it has got to stop. It has got to stop. Somebody got to put their foot down and say, you know, it is not okay. It is absolutely not okay. Y'all have a good day.